Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki and former Senator wey represent Edo South between 2003 to 2007 Senator Daisy Danjuma don put body together to begin chook mouth for at least 50% affirmative action for women in politics and government. Governor Obaseki talked this one during the commissioning of the Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center for Benin City. Come talk say in government go continue to put body on how to prioritize policies and reform to protect women and other vulnerable persons for the state. Obaseki con say dem need the center after Senator Daisy Danjuma to acknowledge her efforts wey she take advance projects and initiatives wey dey provide support to vulnerable members for the society, and say the increased cases of abuse, particularly during the COVID-19 lockdown, make her administration institute number of legal and policy reform to protect women and vulnerable people, and they don get support from IOM, International Organization for Migration, partner with the Italian government, the federal government, and the government of Switzerland.
I join in welcoming all of you to this very, very auspicious occasion of the opening of the Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center. I keep insisting that we must put her maiden name, Ihanire, there, so that children don't come in future and say, who is this woman from the north that you named this facility after? We have in her an emblem, a symbol of the Edo woman. She possesses all the attributes: hardworking, industrious, loving, motherly, everything that we know growing up our mothers used to be, our sisters are, is embodied in her. And therefore we are glad, we thank God for her life, that we have somebody like her that we can place in front as a role model for our women. When we came into office in 2016, we met a generation of young people whose future looked bleak and hopeless. For them, the slogan was, anywhere else but home. Many of them began to undertake very dangerous and perilous trips to Europe. Many of them were girls. At one point in time, we had over 30,000 Edo boys and girls in Tangier, Libya, trying to cross into Europe. You can imagine how many would have lost their lives going through the Sahara to get there. We realized that this was not only a mortal threat to the socio-economic stability of Edo State. It was robbing our youth and women, particularly girls, of their self-worth, sense of pride, and ability to make a decent and dignified living. This ugly trend had grown so big then that Edo accounted for the majority of young people trafficked from Nigeria into Europe. Thank God that situation has been reversed today. Because despite the opposition which we faced, we knew that we had to face this problem headlong. And for us, the first step to solving any problem is admitting that you have a problem. So by admitting the challenge of human trafficking, we were able to get help from our international and local stakeholders. In the course of this, we realized that there were many other victims in need of support. The unprecedented increase in cases of abuse, particularly during the COVID-19 lockdown, was a wake-up call. And this led us to institute a number of legal and policy reforms. This includes the enactment of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, the Sexual Assault Referral Center, the Edo State Gender-Based Violence Management Committee, amongst others. These were all aimed at protecting women and other vulnerable persons in our society. So this center, the Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center, is a key part in the series of concrete steps and actions which we as a government are taking to salvage the future of our vulnerable persons, particularly women and youths, and providing them with an opportunity for redemption. The center houses a shelter for female victims of human trafficking and irregular migration, a sexual assault referral center, and as has been described, is very well equipped. We hope that this facility, which will provide accommodation, meeting rooms, and other amenities which are necessary to ensure that women are kept safe, that they are offered counseling, they are offered psychosocial and legal support. In establishing this center, we have received generous support from the International Migration Organization, IOM, and also partnered with the Italian government. We also like to thank the federal government and the government of Switzerland, who is helping us develop the standard of practice and exchange programs for staff of this center. With the level of support which we are getting from our partners and stakeholders, we believe that the Senator Daisy Danjuma Center will surely become a reference point for care for abused women in Nigeria in the nearest future.
Senator Daisy Danjuma talk say she grow up to know and understand say they need to empower women, and say if she get the power, women go dominate the House of Assembly. And now why she dey advocate for more women for politics, but her fellow politicians never agree. But she still dey on the fight, and she appreciate the state government wey dem take name the facility after her.
Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center, a facility dedicated to the care and welfare of abused women and victims of human trafficking and irregular migration. Much as we concede that our women are powerful and strong-willed, we have seen time and again that they often fall victim to abuse, human trafficking, and other vices, which deprive them of the opportunity to live fulfilling lives. For a long time, the larger society didn't take concrete steps to support the victims of abuse. But today, we are making a statement with this center. In the course of my engagement as a private citizen and a senator of the Federal Republic, like you know, as has been mentioned, all the committees I served were women-related and youth-related. I have always advanced projects and initiatives geared towards providing support and succor to the vulnerable in the society, especially women. Through the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, some of them are represented here, and the VSF, Victim Support Group, we have reached out to women across Nigeria and empowered them to confront life's challenges and make the best of their circumstances. So it is quite humbling to have the state government name this facility after me in acknowledgement of the work we have done over the years. But beyond the recognition, I believe this honor is more for those who have put in the work to ensure that we continue to support women, expand the space for them to participate in politics and excel in business. The state government has passed the necessary laws to tackle gender-based violence and has constituted committees to ensure seamless implementation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. This center further strengthens the institutional framework to protect the vulnerable in the state. We expect that with the center, women who suffer abuse will be confident to call for help and also receive the necessary assistance they need for redress. In thanking the state governor, wait and see governor, I would like to make a few remarks. Thanking him and his wife and all that have put this center together for this very wonderful project. Mr. Governor, you are honoring me today as a woman that has represented my constituency. I want you to involve more women in government. I want you to make sure more women are elected. It is because I was elected, that is why you realize my capacity. Many women can do a lot, but they have to be given the opportunity. Even when we are married to foreigners, or outsiders. Edo will say, when I wanted to contest, they said, oh, she's married to somebody from Taraba. I told them, everyone ask Yamere, you have seen the fact that in spite of the fact that I'm married from a man from Taraba, you can see the impact I've created in my society. So please encourage more women. What a man can do, a woman can do it twice better. When you train a woman, you train a nation. Please encourage women. We make a lot of impact in the society. If you notice all over the world, countries that have progressed, even in Africa, they have women in key positions. Please note it. A country can never progress without women. You love your mother. For that reason, you will love your wife, you will love your daughters. Please make sure women are not discriminated against. They should be given opportunities to prove themselves. I have proved myself, that's why I'm here. Encourage more women to prove themselves.
Edo State First Lady Betsy Obaseki Kontok say they don't put in place the gender-based community to ensure privacy and safety of people where they seek refuge for the facility, and say with the provision of this center, they assure greater productivity from the State Gender-Based Violence Management Committee.
The establishment of this center is a significant milestone in our efforts in the state to address the issue of gender-based violence. As many of you are aware, the absence of a shelter for victims of gender-based violence and victims generally of man's wickedness to man. The absence of a shelter in the state for a long time has been a major concern, especially for us in the Edo State Gender-Based Violence Management Committee, which I am privileged to chair. We have put in the Gender-Based Violence Committee, we've tried to put in place measures to ensure the safety and privacy of all women who seek refuge in this shelter. We have been operating for a few years at another venue, which we used to call the Vivian Center, but have now relocated to a brand new building here, housed in this big shelter, from which we will be continuing to provide succor and support to all women who are resident in our women and young children suffering some kind of trauma or the other. In addition, we are also celebrating today the unveiling of the permanent building I just spoke about, of the Sexual Assault Referral Centers, which used to be called the Vivian Center. As you know, this center has been providing medical care, counseling, and legal support to women who have experienced all forms of gender-based violence, women and men. As a matter of fact, we've had a few men battered by their wives, whom we have taken care of and supported in this SAC center. Oh yes. And the provision of this shelter has buoyed our efforts, and we can assure you of greater productivity from the Edo State Gender-Based Violence Management Committee. Our goal is to empower survivors to seek justice and healing, and to prevent further incidents of sexual violence from occurring.
Edo State Commissioner for Health, Professor Obey Akoria Kontok say the commission mark another milestone when Governor Obaseki administration don't take to help combat gender-based violence for the state, and say the center will offer lifeline to victims and survivors of gender-based violence.
Today is historic for us as a people in Edo State, as we take another bold step in ongoing efforts to combat gender-based violence, which is prevalent in our society. As we know, gender-based violence affects males and females, but the evidence is that it is more prevalent in women and in girls. The government of Edo State, ably led by His Excellency Mr. Godwin Norease Obaseki, takes all matters concerning gender-based violence very seriously. Most of us should be aware of the stellar roles played by Her Excellency Mrs. Betsy Obaseki in bringing issues of gender-based violence to the front burner of state and national discourse, as well as legislation in the past 5 years. The inauguration of the Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center in Benin City today represents another milestone in the work that Edo State government, under the leadership of our governor, is undertaking to address gender-based violence. The doors of this center will be officially opened today. And by that, EDSG, Edo State Government, will be offering lifelines to victims and survivors of gender-based violence. This center will provide timely support, medical care, legal aid, counseling, shelter, and training to all who will seek help here. This center, the Senator Daisy Danjuma Women's Center, will be a place for recovery, rehabilitation, and healing. We are grateful to our local, national, and international partners who have worked tirelessly to make this project a dream come true. The fight against gender-based violence is and should be everyone's fight. We look forward to a society that promotes respect for human dignity, justice, and which empowers residents to achieve their fullest potentials, irrespective of gender or any other demographic.
The Omoge people wey follow Governor Obaseki and Senator Daisy Danjuma for this event na Edo State Deputy Governor Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, Secretary to the State Government Osaudian Oge Esquire, Chief of Staff to the Governor Honorable Sagwovo Iyoha, Vice Chancellor of UNIBEN Professor Lillian Salami, Representative of the Chief Judge of Edo State and his wife Christy Acha, and Chairman of the Edo State Chapter of the People's Democratic Party PDP Anthony Azegbeme, and other top ogas them. From Benin City, Ekata Ojesele, TMC TV News.